Good afternoon, everybody. Let's get this wind. Good afternoon, everybody. Chief Michael Sullivan, Phoenix Police Department. I'm here today with Assistant City Manager Lori Bays and members of the Phoenix Police Department. For the last several weeks, I've been talking about the number of suspects who've been pulling guns on our officers. Today, that level of violence escalated. One of our community public servants was shot in the line of duty. I'm pleased to say the officer is currently in stable condition. Our officer was shot one time in the left hip and was struck in the face with bullet fragments. This was an ambush on our officer. This is the reality our officers face every day when they put on this uniform. We stand ready to keep our communities safe from criminals willing to commit these brazen acts of violence. I'm committed to reducing gun violence in this city. My officers are committed to reducing gun violence in this city. I'm asking the community to partner with us in that effort. This is still an active investigation. Our suspect is still outstanding. The information that we're going to release right now is preliminary in nature and subject to change, and will be very limited with the information that we can provide currently. What I can tell you is that the majority of those suspects who've pulled guns on us recently are prohibited possessors. They shouldn't have guns in the first place. And regardless of what the facts are in this case, I'm going to work with our local, state, and federal partners to make sure that we do everything that we can to reduce gun crime and hold those accountable who are willing to pull guns on citizens of this community and our officers. This community and your police officers deserve nothing less. I'm going to ask Sergeant Bauer now to come forward and provide the information that we can provide at this time. Sergeant?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, thank you all for coming out here today. The reason that we're out here is because, as the chief mentioned, there's a tragic situation that happened in our community. One of our officers, one of the community members, one of the community's officers was injured in the line of duty. This is not just a tragic situation, this is a horrific situation that should not be considered an everyday occurrence. We're going to be committed to stopping gun violence with the City of Phoenix, as the chief put out. I'm going to be offering a little bit of information that came from the scene. Again, as the chief said, this is all preliminary information at this time. There's still an active investigation right now where detectives, officers, investigators are looking for the suspect involved in this case. They're still out there at 9th Avenue and Atlanta Avenue. A lot of the restrictions for traffic are still in place while we're searching diligently, looking for the person responsible today. So just before 9 a.m., officers were called to the area of 9th Avenue in Atlanta for an accident that occurred. Details on the call said that a vehicle had crashed into the front yard of a local residence, and a description was given of the suspect that was driving that vehicle. As one of our officers, who is now currently being treated at this hospital, she was the first one on scene. As she's driving into the area, she sees that male that matches the description given to her by 911 dispatch and the callers from our community. As she's driving closer, the suspect pulls a rifle and ends up firing several shots at the officer. The officer acted with courage as she noticed the threat and was able to get away from that threat immediately and provide more details to officers as they continued to canvass the area looking for this suspect. This officer has just under a year in service with the Phoenix Police Department. And again, she is in stable condition, being treated here at the Banner University Medical Center. As the chief alluded to, this was an ambush type attack. This is a attack that us as community members, us as law enforcement, we're going to do everything that we can to prevent these types of attacks, not just on officers, but on the citizens of Phoenix. The suspect in this case, as I mentioned before, is still outstanding, and we have detectives, investigators actively looking for all leads. What we do ask the community, though, is if you see anything suspicious, if you have any information about who this person is that's responsible, their location, or any information that might help us with this investigation, please contact non-emergency or silent witness with any information that you have. Lastly, I do want to say that the officer that's being treated here, she did sustain the gunshot wound to her hip as well as bullet fragments to her face. With that being said, I'd be more than happy to take any kind of questions that you guys have at this time. Again, keep in mind that this is all preliminary information, still subject to change. Yes?
Is there a second person on the loose connected to the shooting, sir?
Right now, that's still something that investigators are checking, but what we know right now is there's one suspect that we're looking for. Detectives, investigators are in the area diligently looking for that individual. Yes?
I have a couple of questions. Was the second officer injured, possibly bit by a dog while responding?
Yes, there was a secondary injury from the officer. It's minor injuries. He was treated at the hospital and was able to be released already.
Here as well?
I can't confirm that information, what hospital that they were treated at this time, but I will get back with you.
Okay, I saw a Phoenix Police helicopter landing here at the hospital. I haven't seen that before, so just curious what that was with Phoenix Police landing at the hospital.
With the Phoenix Police officer or Phoenix Police helicopter landing here, I'd have to look into that. There's a lot of moving parts to this investigation. Again, because there's a suspect that's on the loose and outstanding, we're really working hard and diligently to try to find that person responsible at this time.
Was the officer responding alone, or did she?
No, there was multiple officers responding. She was the first one on scene when she was engaged with the suspect where he started shooting at her.
What have you guys learned about the suspect so far?
That's still under investigation right now. Detectives are using that information to hone in and find out exactly who this person is, what their rap sheet is, if they have one. So I don't want to speculate, but we are gathering information to try to locate this individual.
Is it believed that the suspect could still be in that area, or do you believe that he's already left or somewhere else?
So we have a very large portion of that neighborhood that's closed off. Detectives have ensured that what we're going to do is search as methodically as possible and locate this suspect. So we're going to turn every rock, we're going to look in every voided space, and we're going to try to find this individual because not only does he pose a danger and has posed a danger to officers, but he's still out there in the community, and we're trying to find him.
Why not a bolo with a picture of the suspect so the community knows who to be on the lookout?
So because investigators are still actively working this case, we want to get all leads that we possibly can and take them to fruition before we put out any other information on the suspect. I got room for one more question.
School lockdowns, can you confirm on that? Can you elaborate on whether or not they went to regular classes?
Yeah, absolutely. So school lockdowns, we had, apologize about that, we had 23 schools that locked down during this situation. All 23 schools have since been reopened and lockdowns have been opened up. All right.
Sorry, age of the officer?
We're not going to give out ages of the officer. She does have less than 1 year on service with the Phoenix Police Department.
Did the officer ever return fire?
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. As we get more information, be expecting a media advisory with all updated information.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.